Nair, and I am proud to be part of IIMPACT. IIMPACT educates girls across rural India, villages in rural India. But before I start, firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for being here, and I'd particularly like to thank Gaurav for waking everybody up because I was scared. I thought everybody would be fast asleep by now. So I'm just going to take you into the world of IIMPACT before I start my presentation.
In remote corners of India, a morning bell sounds, awakening the minds of thousands of girl children who were till now uneducated, neglected, and deprived of the power to dream. And as these girls walk to school, the one thing that they have all learned is the fact that life ahead could take them to places far beyond their imagination. Gone will be the talk of premature marriage. Gone these young shoulders, and gone will be the responsibilities of a household life where the one thing that is constantly asked of them is sacrifice. A life that women of the previous generation know only too well.
अब तो सभी समझ गए भाई पढ़ानी चाहिए लड़की जा जाके घर जा जाके समझाइए हमने सब जब समझे नहीं कोई पढ़ाइए ना समझे क्यों पढ़ाए काहे करेंगी लड़की ये तो दूसरा घर जाएंगी और भाई पढ़ाई ना करवाएं हम तो लड़का नहीं पढ़ाएंगे बस थोड़ा बहुत और अब लड़की की भी इतनी समझ अब भाई लड़की एक घर नहीं सुधारे दो घर सुधारे पढ़ लिख गई तो
जब आपके बच्चे ने पढ़ना सीखा उसके बाद आपको फिर से लगा कि आपको भी सीखना चाहिए।
हाँ आपको फिर मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा कि और सीख रही है तो मैं और कुछ पढ़ जाऊँ तो जैसे अपने कुछ हिसाब साफ भी कर ले कुछ अपने जैसे दूध बेचे तो दूध का बारा में भी जैसे अपने लिख ले और एक दूसरी ही जैसे मान ले पढ़वा का बारा में तो साफ सफाई बहुत ज्ञान अगर पहला ऐसा ही है।
मेरा नाम मीनू है मैं कक्षा 8 में पढ़ती हूँ। मेरा नाम नसीम है और मैं कक्षा 7 में पढ़ती हूँ। मुझे स्कूल जाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है। मुझे बच्चों के साथ खेलना बहुत अच्छा लगता है। सबसे ज़्यादा हिंदी अच्छी लगती है।
आपको आगे जाके क्या बनना है?
मैडम।
आप आगे जाके पढ़ना चाहते हो?
हाँ।
क्या पढ़ना चाहते हो आप और क्यों?
पढ़ना चाहते हैं जैसे कुछ बन लिख जाए बने।
क्या बनना चाहते हो?
बनने की इच्छा तो सर जी पुलिस।
It's very difficult for a lot of people sitting here to imagine what the areas we work in are like, so this was an introduction. So just to explain the situation today, we have 3.8 million girls between the age of 6 to 14 who do not go to school in India. And there's a huge gap in the male and female education and literacy in India, 16%. The reason, one of the primary reasons is illiteracy amongst the parents. A lot of the girls that we are educating are first generation learners. The parents are illiterate. We are in extremely remote areas, largely in a lot of tribal belts in Orissa and Bihar, Jharkhand, and in extremely underprivileged and remote areas in the Mewat area of Haryana and Rajasthan, and amongst many others. But education of the girl is not deemed important. It's not important enough for the parents. They don't realize the significance of sending girls to school. The girls, as you saw in the video, are going to be married off, and that's really what they're waiting for. So just a quick slide on why educate girls. As Kofi Annan says, economic productivity will increase, mortality of infant and maternal will go down, and you'll promote health and increase chances for the next generation, which is crucial. How did IIMPACT start? It started in 2002. This was at a reunion of the IIM alumni of Ahmedabad, their 25th reunion, and they noticed that a lot of states were lagging behind in providing basic education to girls, social services, and economic development, and there were a lot of regional inequalities. And they wanted to do something which was going to have a large social multiplier effect and not just do something for the sake of doing it and not something that you just discuss across the coffee table. So they decided to build access to quality education to the out-of-school girl child. The vision of IIMPACT is to transform the lives of women, families, and entire communities in India by educating the girls. This is IIMPACT's current reach. We are in 9 states. We're in 9 states across India, largely in northern India. We have 30,000 girls across our centers. It's on auto, right? And the cost per learning center is 85,500 rupees. A learning center educates 30 girls. What are the 3 challenges that IIMPACT addresses? We're working in areas where you have to understand, where girls do not have access to education. It is not a choice for them. The schools that exist closest to them are probably about 2 kilometers away, local government schools or private schools. Parents are not going to send girls at this tender age to distances, so far. So the idea of IIMPACT is to actually bring the schools, the primary schools, to their doorsteps, literally outside their homes. We involve the local communities in identifying areas in the villages which will serve as the premises for the learning centers, and we do not invest in those learning centers. We basically get the communities to become our stakeholders. Getting them to school is the first challenge, which we address. The second challenge is retaining those girls. I mean, you've got them to school, but who's to say they're going to carry on coming? So that's a huge challenge addressed in various ways. We have regular visits to the homes of the girls. The teachers and supervisors are constantly interacting with the local communities. The teachers are also trained to impart extremely effective education, teaching, learning materials, and create exciting environments for the girls at a tender age, at the first couple of years of learning. So it's joyful learning which is introduced to them. And ensuring their continuity into school beyond IIMPACT. IIMPACT is only there till class 5, after which we handhold girls, mentor them, get them to go into the upper primary schools, which now exist a little distance away, but the parents are ready to send girls to school now. They have been exposed to the importance of education, they've seen the results, and they are all pretty much behind us by this point. So our focus is, just to reiterate, education of the girl child, out of school girls that do not have access to school, and in backward regions and districts where the needs are greatest. Our objective is to bring 60,000 girls aged 6 to 14 years under the fold of primary education by the year 2017. The key is that we do this with 0 overhead costs to the donors. We have a separate fund which takes care of our admin costs, and so any donation or any contribution that comes towards the education program goes directly to the education of the girls, and nothing goes on our travels and our stationery and all. We have a separate fund for that. And our credo is that educate a girl and you benefit generations to come. So you're just picking up a girl at this point. She may study to class 5, she may study to class 8, she may go on to 10, 12 college, but you are definitely influencing the next generation. This is just to give you an idea of our working model. We focus, as I said, on the primary years of a child. We establish learning centers. We conduct the initial processes. You conduct surveys in local areas which we've identified. These are door-to-door surveys in villages. We establish the need. We bring the learning centers to the doorsteps of the girls, right to their homes. We engage the local communities. That's extremely important. Without them, we wouldn't be successful in our programs. They're the ones who actually insist that the girls come to school. They're the ones who also watch the progress of the teachers. They're monitoring for us while we monitor ourselves. The parents are totally involved. The communities are totally involved. We have extremely innovative techniques which we have developed and fine-tuned over the last years. We've been around for 10 years, and we have got extremely effective teachers training in place, which enables a teacher to train 30 girls in one learning center at different levels. So it's multi-level, multi-teaching. And it's joyful learning. So if you don't have joyful learning in the first 2 years, you're going to lose a lot of children back into, not coming to school. So the idea is to have interesting techniques, very, very simple learning and teaching tools, which are developed locally by our own staff, handmade, very interesting charts, extremely colorful and exciting for the kids. So as I've said before, we have education that comes to the girls' doorstep. There's proven replicability. We've got it across diverse regions now. We're in 9 states. We recruit teachers and staff locally. Again, that's providing employment locally, but it's also a confidence level that the local communities have with these teachers. So it's very important for us to keep that in mind. And the community is also mobilized for sustainable community-owned solutions. They're going to help us carry this through. And as we find that we are going to eventually be able to exit, it's the local communities and the local NGO partners that we work with who are going to make this possible. So it's inclusive and empowering. This is a story I want to quickly tell you. It's kind of not really connected to what we do, but it was quite interesting. We had a teacher in Mewat in Rajasthan, one of our impact teachers, who came to me and she said, look, I want to tell you, there's this elderly gentleman. He must be in his 60s. He's the first guy who didn't want us to come into those villages. That's where we started in Mewat, in Alwar. And he was resisting our intervention. And many years down the line, he realized he didn't have far to go in terms of life. He had achieved what he wants to do. And he hasn't learned how to read or write. So he asked our teacher whether he could actually come and sit in on the classes and, learn. So she didn't want to say yes, but out of respect, she couldn't say no. So she allowed him. She made sure he sat in one corner. He came in every day for 1 year with his little jhola and a little pencil, which was kind of broken. But he sat in on the classes. He learned how to read and write. And at the end of a year, he was our ambassador. He would sit outside the schools and he would say, come on, chalo, paro, and send all the girls to school, make sure girls were coming to school. So this was a gentleman who did not want impact there at one point. And now he is our ambassador. So this is just to show you how we've grown over the years. We started in 2003, 2004 with 12 learning centers in Alwar, in Rajasthan. We worked in the Mewat area, which is extremely, extremely difficult to work in. That's where we started. And we progressed. The first 3 years was actually establishing our model, fine-tuning it, making sure that we could build confidence in what we were doing and had confidence in it. And as we approached 2007, we found that things were actually working very well, and we had results, internal results to show for it, and we had donors who had faith in us, and we actually had the ability to grow. 2007 onwards, you can see a rapid increase. Today we're at 777 learning centers, and we aim to be at 2,000 learning centers by 2017. So what does a learning center offer? As I mentioned, again, I am repeating myself, but it's very, very important because we have a multi-grade, multi-level teaching in place, which essentially takes different children at different levels, and you have one teacher conducting the class. Joyful learning, 30 girls and one teacher. We teach English, Hindi, maths, environmental studies. We have individualized attention and community engagement. And this is how impact is changing their lives. They're becoming more confident. They're ready to go to school on bicycles after they've graduated from impact, whereas they were not going to go to school ever before that. Village women are helping take over supervision of the learning centers, which is extremely important. And of course, there's a huge shift in mindsets. These are the academic results, which I want to focus on. These are our success indicators to a certain extent. We now have nearly 3,000 girls who have actually graduated from the impact program, 100% pass rate, 80% of them with first division, 85 continuing beyond class 5, where you knew there were so many dropouts, 50% complete class 8, and we have now 16 girls in college. This just shows you how many girls are continuing with their education. This is a success story that we have. This is a girl called Buteri who joined us originally in 2004. She now wants to become a police officer, and she has 5 younger sisters who are also going to school because of her example. She's in touch with us every other day on the mobile. She wants a job. She wants us to help. So that's incredible. This is our program. We've got 30,000 girls that have been educated. So 2,300 continuing to study further. And we have 120,000 indirect beneficiaries. And that gives you an idea of our operation strength. This is the success indicators again that we monitor. Student attendance, which is extremely important. The involvement of the parents in the PTA meetings is extremely important to ensure that our model succeeds. And our annual dropout rate is as low as 5%. We have a ripple effect that's in place. You change the girl's life. She's confident. She has better self-esteem. You change the family. Their attitudes are being changed. They look at her differently. They realize the importance of education for the girl child, and they are the ones who are going to ask for further education. And the community, the delayed marriages that are taking place. We've received invitation cards to marriages of a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and now we're seeing 18-year-olds and 20 not getting married. It's a highly scalable model. We have proven track record in place. These are our expansion plans, 60,000 girls by 2017. This is what we are looking at over the next 4 years. We need 51 crores spread out over the next 4 years. This just gives you a quick idea of the Learning Center financials, the focus being on learning, teachers' training, teachers' salaries. That's our focus. I mean, we spend about, I think, 60% of our budget is spent on that. And again, our admin costs are a separate fund. This is our strong management team. They're all IIMA alumni. They provide us a vast base to work from, a lot of experience, and great governance and networking skills. This is our in-house team. We're based in Gurgaon, and we have 13 full-time staff. Some of our larger sponsors, just to give you an idea of where we are. We were covered by the Reader's Digest in 2011. That gave us a lot of exposure and a lot of phone calls and lots of emails. We were featured in their Heroes section. You can help us reach our goal. You can help us reach our mission of 60,000 girls being educated by 2017 in these various ways. You can sponsor us. You can support districts. You can engage employees in the payroll giving and volunteering activities. And of course, help organize fundraising. Thank you.